I'm now going to call upon Dr. Rambilaas, who's going to give the audience some insight into some of the work of the Arya Samaj as well as our standing committees. Dr. Rambilaas needs no introduction to the family of the Samaj, but fondly known as Dr. B.
Namaste, and thank you very much for being part of this program today. As mentioned, I think the vibe has been wonderful, and it's good meeting. These functions also become a good excuse for us to interact and say hello to each other. Otherwise, we just don't nowadays take the trouble, to go and visit. And after COVID, life has changed so much. So it's a real pleasure being together with people. Today, when we celebrate Swamiji, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, his, especially when we speak about the diaspora and when we left India, those who are indentured stock, when we left India, there were two things. One was our people were poor. And they were not, you must remember, they were not just poor because suddenly they chose to be poor or things happened such. It was British imperial policy that the people, especially in provinces like of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the cotton, planting, harvesting the cotton, the leather industry and all of that, with the number of cattle in India, is the highest. So it is only natural also the tanning industry was a very prosperous one. And all of this, remember, it was part of British imperial policy that they used to take the raw materials away to Britain. And they also had the mills in Lancaster and Worcester and all these places. And they used to take the cotton from India, weave them into wonderful fabric, bring it back again to India and sell it at a very exorbitant price. This was the practice. And so the poverty that we speak about, a large hand, the British had, in it, and all the colonial powers that ruled. So in those times when our people did leave the shores and settle abroad, we then began to celebrate things like Muharram and Easter, because Easter also coincided with our Mariamman prayers. And of course, Easter is a celebration of fertility, and if you look at it, it's a pagan worship. And it only makes sense if you go back and study it, that the Mariamman prayers would coincide with the Easter celebrations. With all that, our people came down, and remember, quite a few of the people that were loaded onto the ships were the ones in India who were troublesome, who were agitating, and they were also shoved onto the ships and got rid of, because they were troublemakers, you see. So this is the kind of a mix that we've had. And therefore, when our people came down, from the very inception, they got involved in the struggle. Because Bihari Babu was a Ladaku Babu. You see? So when it came out, it is not surprising then that they got involved in the struggle in South Africa. And therefore, it often, none other than Nelson Mandela and other leaders said that although the Indians were in the minority, but when it came to the political struggle, they were always in the forefront. So it is, therefore, when the Arya Samaj came down, it was part of the manifesto of the Arya Samaj, the teaching of Hindi, building of temples, building of schools. You trace and look at the number of schools. Every time I'm looking at Bhaiji Potchefstroom, if you look at every area, wherever our people settled, they were empowered. Our Bahenjis taught Hindi. Our ladies were in the forefront. Schools were started. Well, of the Aryan Benevolent Home again. The story of the Aryan Benevolent Home, I know people say you say the story so often, but I can't help but mention to you that it started when somebody was trying to sleep in a toilet overnight in town. And that person was being beaten and chased out of the toilet, and Satyadevji saw it, and that saw the birth. The very next day, he met with the AYS, and the ABH was created. Like that, also Ram Bharosa's story is another story, Well, that is after the Aryan Benevolent Home was built. And there you are, one day Ishwar Singh, Ishwar Singh saw this incident, and Shishupal Rambaros, who was a child then, was pulling a wheelbarrow, and in that wheelbarrow was his father. He was sick, very sick, and another worker was pushing that wheelbarrow, and Rambaros was pulling it, and of course they took him to the doctors and he passed away. And then, Rambarosji was a child then, his mum and his brother, they were all taken to the home. Ishwar Singh arranged for them to be kept to live at the homes, and there his mother and brother passed away not long after, and he grew up as an orphan, and look at it. His name Shishupal, he ended up, Shishu means child, Pal means to nurture or look after. So he ended up looking after the children at the home. So really living up to the name of Shishupal. Well, so the Arya Samaj in South Africa was immediately concerned with serving our people. In more recent times, if you look, there is a banner there, and I'm looking at it as I speak to you. Project Tripti, we've really done a lot of work. Besides building schools, the Divine Life, the schools, the Hare Krishna's feeding schemes, the Ramakrishna clinics that are run, the number of projects that our people have run to make sure that we care for our fellow beings in South Africa. Project Tripti was boreholes, and we've done about 10 boreholes. Really out there in the rural areas. We traveled, right out into these rural areas and had these boreholes, sunk there so that people could have. Project Sharir was at one time, we banded together with Manav Seva Group, and of course those things didn't go too well, and that project hasn't taken off too well. But we always got prosthetic limbs free of charge for those who needed it. Now, then we feeding schemes, people even up to this day, at the Narayan Jivan Vedic Center, through the Narayan Jivan, Swami Maitreyi, Swami Ji as well running the heel, we are feeding thousands of people on a daily basis. So that, and then disaster relief, we always, whenever there's been, we've always, a time in India, besides providing machines here, oxygenators, we sent to India at least about 10 or so oxygenators. And thanks, of course, to the funding that we got from all of you. Then Ved Niketan, Panditji started elementary basic teachings of Hinduism, Shastra Navnitam, and all those books. To this day, we're keeping alive the work of the Ved Niketan. And at one time, we used to get thousands of students that wrote the Ved Niketan exam. And we're trying to keep those numbers going still. Narayan Jivan Vedic Center people today, right in the heart of an informal settlement, which serves over 30,000 people. There's, together with the municipality, there's a primary health care clinic that's run there, and the feeding schemes. We're thankful to the Sai Baba group. The doctors come in and they render voluntary services, and the people that are taken care of in terms of the primary health care needs. And the self-empowerment campaigns is a project that our ladies in the Samaj have embarked on. And they are doing lots of work, getting out sewing, getting sewing machines out, doing things, empowering our people, teaching the women in particular skills so that they can become entrepreneurs and contribute to the economy of the country. These are the projects that the Samaj is running, and to this day we still have got classes. Our School of Vedic Studies is quite popular, people. We have submitted the syllabuses that we have, and when those are passed and they're going through the process, even India has adopted our program for the training of priests. This, because we've got a very structured program, and they're very appreciative of it. So even India is going to be adopting our modules and following the program that we have laid out for the School of Vedic Studies. People, with that, once again, thank you very much and for joining us. Hope you enjoy the rest of the program together with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. G. And to all our family here today, Pirse, Meri Prem Namaste, Arsu Swagatam, and a special welcome to our family in Pietermaritzburg and Johannesburg, who are live streaming and making this program a part of their program as part of the 200-year celebration. Welcome to you too. And a special welcome to our online audience. This program is also being flighted on YouTube and Facebook, online throughout the world. So to whoever is joining in, thank you for your time as well.